It's LA's 97.1 Amp Radio. It's McCabe inside the SoCal Honda Sound Stage. Today joined by the incredible, the amazing, the funny, the cool Kelly Clarkson.
So many amazing adjectives.
So many amazing things. How are you?
Yes, I am good.
I like the color
Our matching.
coordination.
Yes,
yeah,
we called
matching.
each other. We discussed this.
Yeah, this is one way to do the interview. Thanks for stopping by Amp Radio. I know
Thank
you
you for
have a busy
having me.
schedule,
Yeah.
but also some downtime. How do you kind of enjoy yourself here being in Los Angeles when you're not working?
Well, honestly, our downtime consists of hanging with our children because we work all day long. So like any downtime we have, we're rushing to either get to like a dance class or school or putting them to bed or, just having a moment with your kids. So
were you a dance class student as well growing up?
Yes.
So this is like an important like family sort of
thing. It wasn't like, I don't care if she likes it or not, but it was just fun because she loves music and dancing. We have little dance parties at the house. Like I'll put Prince on with my phone, and we'll just sit there and dance. And I don't know where she gets her moves from her daddy, not me.
Really? Dad's a big dancer?
No.
Dad likes to dance.
Dad is a dancer, but no, I just mean like, I don't dance like that. This is like, it's like this weird, like older woman at a wedding, like thinks she's getting down. She does this shoulder thing. It's amazing.
The shoulder shimmy? Okay, yes. I like that. Do you kind of have the same? No, not at all.
No, I can dance. I'm like, she's 3 and looks awkward.
No, it's great. And then dancing comes with the family. You guys kind of put it all out there. We were talking earlier that it was about 2 years ago, the show at Staples Center, where you kind of had a moment where
I was pregnant with
you're
Remy,
pregnant, and that kind of
and
just
no one knew.
No one knew, but it came out. Was that you did not plan that at all when that happened?
Oh gosh, no. That was a really tough night for me because he was like, we didn't even tell the rest of our family because we'd only told we just didn't tell the people in Texas yet, and his granny was one of them, which is obviously super important. But I thought people were gonna think I'm like this pop star cliche, like, oh, she's gonna end up going to rehab or something, because like I was losing my mind. I could not pull it together, and I thought people are gonna think I'm crazy or like on something, when really it was just hormones. And I was singing a depressing song, piece by piece.
By piece, because it stops in the middle of the song. But it was such a natural, cool moment. I mean, everyone in the crowd embraced it.
No,
and
everyone
happy.
but my husband loved the moment. And myself. I definitely, And I was just like a mess backstage. I was crying. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, because I just felt so bad. Because
it was a good moment. It was a good moment.
For everyone else.
Did family find out through social media at that point? Or did someone make a call and be like, hey,
no, I don't even think they knew.
I
think we told them that. I don't think his granny was checking up on social media for
on her
Staples
Snapchat,
Center.
What's going on? I saw that.
We definitely told them right after that. But I also wasn't planning on doing it yet either, because I can't remember how many weeks I was, but it was kind of too soon to maybe announce. But
Well, after that, we appreciate the moment, but that kind of leads into new music for you.
Yes.
Working on this new album. Were you working on it at that point?
No. We were. Well, I mean, I will say I've had Meaning of Life, the song that is on the album Meaning of Life. I've had that for probably close to 3 years on hold.
Okay.
Because Jesse Shacken, who I've worked with a ton, had sent the song to me, and I was like, oh my God, please do not give this to anyone. Mm-hmm. I was like, I love this song, and I almost want to set the bar for an album and base an entire album off this sound. And that's what we did. So I've had that song for quite some time, and obviously I've had 15 years of relationships with people like producers and writers. So we had been kind of collectively putting stuff together, but it was a little difficult to switch gears with people because people kept sending like Stronger 2.0,
right,
Since You've Been Gone, like all that kind of stuff. And it's a different album than that.
When you mentioned like the 15 years, and it's kind of like this is a new chapter. It's your 8th album.
Yes, but it's my first chapter of picking.
Right. So I'm saying, when you going from working with other people and maybe doing things you don't want to do, you have to do. I mean, how does that now feel that you can do what you want?
Well, I think anytime there's like an arranged marriage scenario, in fairness to RCA, they didn't pick me either. Mm-hmm. I just happened to be on the show. So that, there was obviously a lot of, I don't think that's a secret that there was a struggle there for a bit. But it was a very successful arranged marriage, and we got a lot out of that. Business-wise, but I think it definitely did set a different level of appreciation for now working with Atlantic. Mm-hmm. It's just a different environment. They chose to work with me. I chose to work with them. It's a very respectful, constructive environment, and the album is just, you can tell. I think when I'm performing shows now, I listen to all these songs that I wrote or even picked or whatever for the last 15 years, and you can tell there's a suppressed individual in there, just because that came out artistically, and I didn't notice it as much as I do now when we're performing the new stuff with it.
Do you think your performances now, the live performances, will change in a sense like that now that you have this new chapter?
That. Like I've been with a lot of my members for over a decade, like in my musical director since Idol. So, but yeah, I've been with them for years. And the first thing they said is, "Oh my gosh, this is your personality. Like this record is there's never been a record that really, is my entire personality in song form and in music form. And also just performing is I don't know, it sounds cheesy, but it's very liberating to work in an environment that's healthy.
Yeah.
It's a healthy environment. So it's definitely my band is like, you're like, so like everything you sing is it's just a different vibe.
And I think I saw a tweet that said, this is the album you wanted to make since junior year.
This in caps. We were very dramatic.
Yeah, very dramatic with it. So when you say that, like 15 years in the making type of thing, are these songs that you've written and have held on to for yourself type of thing? No. I mean, I've been writing the whole 15 years, and I felt like I honestly had more to write about because I was just going through so much. So I, wrote more probably in the past. I only wrote 4 songs on this album. And honestly, there's a lot of reasons behind that. One, I'm super happy and I don't write a lot of times when I'm happy. And secondly, I wanted my goal with this album was to make a record that not everybody could sing and really showcase people like how I came in this industry and why I'm here and my part in this industry. And so I really wanted to focus on vocals and just the overall sound. I was really concerned with making this sound like all these influences that I had from the 90s, like growing up, and made me want to be a singer. So that was more my focus with this record. Well, we can hear that soulful voice that Kelly Clarkson has. And let's talk about Love So Soft, your new single. I love it. It's so sexy. What was this inspired by? Honestly, with being in a relationship, a healthy one, my husband he's just such a great man in the sense of like, I mean, a lot of ways, but also just being a woman, I've already been, it's no secret, I'm very confident, I feel sexy, I've always felt like empowered, but there's a different level when you have a partner that really does like just boost your ego even more. Like he's so like loving and just kind of brings out this whole other sensual side of me that I don't think has really come across on a record before. And even when I'm choosing songs or talking to writers about what I'm looking for, like I can tell like my vibe is different. And I think it's because, I'm just in a really great place in my life, and it's a different sort of like opening up. Like I've always been very open and no filter, but this is like very like, man, it's okay to feel sexy. It's okay to like, embrace that kind of sensual side. And that's what he makes me feel is like this song. Like I feel just like boss, like all the time. So, and so how does that make him feel when you write a song that, he kind of, I guess, helps you write, but when he hears it, is he like, oh yeah, all right? Well, when he heard Whole Lotta Woman, specifically, Nova, these 2 girls out of Atlantic, that's my label, Atlanta, started writing, and then I ended up jumping on that song because I really wanted to finish it with them, because Whole Lotta Woman is such a great indication of not only my personality, but also, I think he's proud being like, yeah, I love that. I love that about you. I think he's like, yeah, she knows what she wants. Like, and I think he will bring up, we've been listening to the record, and I'll be honest with you, I think my husband and Craig Kalman, who A&R'd this record with me and executive produced it, they're almost more proud of this record than me. So they really love, they're embracing every aspect of it. So. And you've had kind of every aspect. You were talking that you put some pain into it because you did the claps. What did you call it? The claps? Oh my gosh, you wouldn't think it, You wouldn't think. So what happened with the claps? In songs, the girls and the BGV singers, we were like, oh, this would be cool. And Jesse Shack, one of the producers, was like, be cool if we got this like clap track part right here. And like we were doing it, and we were like, yeah, cool, that's cool. But then you're so focused like on timing. You're like, why am I all of a sudden I have no rhythm? And then you want your claps to sound so strong. Our hands were so red. And it was actually the hardest part of making the album was putting in the claps. Just the clap track was, woo. In case it's for gladiators, y'all. Yeah. Now with the new music and, kind of obviously your backstory being on Idol and being coached and stuff, now you are joining The Voice. This is The Voice. This is The Voice. And you're going to be a coach. You're going to have your own button. Are you excited for this turning chair? Probably most excited
about that than anything else going on right now.
Have you been practicing how you're going to do one?
No,
thing,
I'm really nervous because, okay, I've done tons of shows, especially since winning the first one like that here. Like, I think people always have me on their show. So what you hear in the room is often very different than what comes through on TV, like directly in the mic, because there's verb and there's the feeling and the vibe, like everything. So I'm a little nervous that I'm I don't know, that like I'm not going to pick the best team. I don't know.
Do you have a particular sound that you will listen for? I mean,
I want a variety.
Okay.
I think I think people think I'm going to pick just all big voices, because that's the type of singer I am. But I love stylists. I love country singers. I love R&B, pop. I want singer, songwriter stuff. I just want a little bit of everything, because I think that's what makes music so great.
Yeah, so diverse. And with that, do you plan to also sort of help with the guidance of, with it being like a TV show and kind of working with producers and stuff? Like, do you plan to have that element as well, like guiding them in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Jennifer Hudson and I had this talk recently, because she's on the season before me, and there's really no better people to probably help out, take advice or help you, because we've actually been there, and we're both different spectrums. She didn't win, but she's like an Oscar winner, a Grammy winner. I mean, she's had such a successful career to showcase to them, like, you don't have to win, you just have to make the most out of this opportunity. Right. And even from my point of view, like of even being in the very beginning when it was such a joke, now they're very popular, the shows, but it was a very big joke whenever I was on it. So just coming from that headspace of being like, focus on yourself, focus on what you want to do, separate yourself from the others. Like, it's a bit of strategy, to get through a competition. It's different than making a record. Right. So, yeah.
We look forward to you on The Voice. The album is coming out on October 27th, yes. Meaning of Life. But what can we expect later in the year or for 2018? Is there going to be a tour to go on top of everything?
Yes, we're planning. The Voice schedule, plus my promo schedule for Meaning of Life, plus I have a kids book coming out the end there too. So there's kind of a lot of things going on. So we're hoping by next year we're going to start our world tour. That's what we're working on right now with routing and stuff. Okay. But there's a lot of scheduling.
Yeah, scheduling to take place.
Yes. So you have to work around several things that are great things, but you just kind of have to work them in. So, but this album is going to be ridiculously live.
Yes. Go see Kelly Clarkson on tour in 2018.
It's not just me. It's my band is ridiculous.
Band as well. Your band's really great. Is it the same band that we've seen in the past before?
Yes, but also we're bringing out a brass section, all the horns, and then we have an element with an orchestra feel as well. And then my girls are really all over this record. My BGV singers are incredible, and they're a big part of the show too.
Well, Kelly Clarkson, anytime you want to come back by Amp Radio, you're more than welcome.
I'm going to come and perform.
Please come and perform here on the stage.
I feel like I'm letting you down.
No, not at all. And grab the album October 27th. Kelly Clarkson with 97.1 Amp Radio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
97.1 Amp Radio.